Hey, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This your boy, Rod Thomas Jr., and this is the real news behind the news. Oh, yeah, man. Today is May 8th, 2025, a Thursday here in Shreveport, Louisiana. And real briefly, y'all, I posted a reel yesterday where General Wesley Clarke told us about what's called the Project for a New American Century, where they was planning on overthrowing 7 different countries. They said 5 years, but in actuality it took almost 20 years. They overthrew 6 other countries, but there's one country left for them to overthrow, and if y'all pay attention, they're trying their hardest to overthrow the country of Iran on behalf of Israel. Now y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna play this video, and I'll come back with my final commentary in just a second.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld, and one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." I said, "We're going to war with Iraq? Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, "I just got this down from upstairs in the Secretary of Defense's office today." And he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran." I said, "Is it classified?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Well, don't show it to me."
Okay, now, if you notice, he said this in an offhand manner, but this was very serious because millions of people throughout this project for the New American Century have lost their lives. Even Muammar Gaddafi lost his life brutally at the hands of the United States. Again, all this is at the behest of Israel. We're doing Israel's dirty work. See, Israel is a country that should not be existing, y'all. Those people over there are not the real Jews. These people are what you call Ashkenazis. They come from Eastern Europe. They maybe had Jewish heritage, but these people, basically, most of them came from the Eastern Europe and now from the western part of Europe and America. They set up a country on the Palestinians' homeland, and even to this day, they're trying to ethnically cleanse, meaning take all the Palestinians and push them off their land. Now, if you notice, he said that there were 7 countries that they was trying to overthrow. They overthrew every last one of those countries, starting with Iraq. But, Iran is the last country that they have to overthrow to fulfill this project for the New American Century, which is basically subjugate all those countries in the Middle East on behalf of Israel so Israel could have dominance. Now, they're using the premises that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Who the hell are we to tell another country what they can and cannot have, especially when Israel illegally has over 100 and something nuclear weapons? You see what I'm saying? Now, the last country that they overthrew in that list that he gave was Syria. And then now all that's left is for them to try to find a way to start a war with Iran. And they're going to get their war because you know why? We here in America are too busy watching football, basketball, baseball, Housewives of Atlanta, Young and the Restless. We're too busy being entertained instead of wanting to be informed. Now, if we go to war with Iran, y'all, your sons and daughters will have to fight this war. As we look at what's happening in the Middle East right now, the Houthis, again, I said in the video yesterday, just embarrassed the hell out of the United States. A little bitty country like Yemen, the poorest country on the planet, literally humbled the United States. I mean, they done shot down 7 or 8 of our drones, and each one of these drones costs over a couple of $1 million a piece. They done hit aircraft carriers, causing a couple of $70 million planes a piece to fall overboard, to the point where we can't do nothing with the Houthis, because we was using Saudi Arabia to bomb them for 7 years and still couldn't do nothing with them. You see what I'm saying? The Houthis are blocking the trade in the Red Sea. So Donald Trump basically had to call a truce, because you got a bunch of people who run around in sandals, who don't have running water in most places, don't have electricity 3/4 of the day, and they humble the greatest power in human history, the American government. So y'all stay tuned, man, because each day that pass by, they're looking for more and more of a way to get us into a war with Iran. Y'all got to realize, Iran, if we get into a war with Iran, do y'all realize because of certain defense treaties that we're going to have to fight Russia and China? Russia and China is going to be on the side of Iran. What are we going to do against Russia, China, and Iran? Iran by itself can take on the United States and defeat us. So y'all stay tuned, man. This thing is getting very, very serious. Y'all share these videos, man. Hit that like button and tell a couple of your friends. Y'all be blessed.